go to simply if we just go to Google and say Cloudera sandbox download. So there are different sandbox like Hortonworks, Cloudera, Mapire, anything is fine. You can download any one of it, not an issue. So this 5.12 is the latest one. Okay. You can download it and you can start using it. So just click on this. It's saying select a platform. We need for which platform, like VirtualBox or VMware Player, anything. So if you are if you are used to VirtualBox, you can choose a VirtualBox and say get it now. Just have to put some information, all of these things, and sign in, and then it will start the download. Okay, so after download, it will download the entire image file, which you have to start using the VirtualBox. So this is a client like Oracle VM VirtualBox. You can, it's also freely available. You just have to download and install it, and then new, or you can import it. So once you double click on that image, it will automatically open up this, and it will, you can say it will give you an option. So you just have to double click. Once you download, just have to double click, and then it will start the importing. It will show some images like this. So this is one of the image which I started. So any image like it, this is Hortonworks image, this is Cloudera image. So once you click on this, click on start, it will start. This one is already running. This is 5.10. So I want to show you some of the commands from this image. Now let me go into it, how it looks. So right, so this is so once we start, it will start up with this window, and then we can go to the terminal. Over here, this is Cloudera quick start VM. Now let's try to play around with it. We'll run some of the STFS commands. Let's say STFS and press enter. Okay. And if you look over here, these are all different options that I can do with the STFS. Right, so STFS has all these different options. So either I can go to DFS, which is to run any file system command. So if this is, so this FS, this cell is there, right? So all these things is handled in this option. Okay, and there are so many different options. We'll look into some of them, but the one which is most widely used to interact with the file system is the DFS. Okay, so let me go to this HDFS, DFS, and then press enter. So it will give me what are the different options in it. So all of these are the options that I can run with it, like append to a file, cat, checksum, change the group. And one good thing about this is like all the syntax is very similar to the Linux commands. Right, so in the Linux we have all these options like change the group, change the mode, change the owner, copy from local, copy to local. We'll see now. Count, like how many counts I have in a directory, create the snapshot, copy -cps for the copy. Can anyone tell me what is this du option in Linux? What does this du command do?
Space.
Disk.
How much is this? Yeah.
How much of
Du
disk
minus
is
S.
utilization? Right. So how much of disk is utilized, right? So in Linux we have that command. Similarly, we have the same command we have in HDFS as well. And can anyone tell me what is df? What is df used for? Df is disk free.
Defragmentation?
No. Disk free. How much of disk is free? See, in Linux there is a command du -h dot, oops, one second, df. See, so df gives a detail about how much of is used and how much is free. -h will give in a usable format. So for this is like how much of available, how much is used, right? So disk free. Similar to this, we have the same option in the SDF also, the same df option. Okay, so let's try out some of the examples of this. What we'll do is we'll try to, let's start with the very similar use case. So first thing, if I need to create a new file, I will first create some directory and try to put some data in it, right? Let's try with that use case. So let's say I'm creating some directory, htfs dfs -mkdir is the option. I want to create a directory with the name of let's say Sprintzeal. Okay, and if you notice over, I have not given any path. Okay, so in Linux, if you don't give any path, where it will create the directory?
Location.
In the current working location, right? In the current working
Yes.
directory. So similarly in Hadoop as well, in Hadoop also, it is going to create a directory in the user's home directory by default. Okay, so what is my directory? Let's find out. So if I need to find out where this is created, htfs dfs -ls, and to list the directory. So user Cloudera, let's see what all I have. It's a little slow because it needs a lot of RAM. Okay, now if you see in the user's home directory, it created a directory with the name of Sprintzeal. It's not always necessary that I create in my user directory. If I, let's say I want to create somewhere else, I want to create a directory in htfs dfs -mkdir. I want to create somewhere else. Let's say slash. I want to create in slash. If I have a permission, I can create something in the root as well. Let me try slash root Sprintzeal. Let me see if I have a permission. Hopefully not. Okay, so looks like this Cloudera user has access to the root as well. So let's see whether it created or not in the root. So HDFS root is like slash, like a Linux root. Over here we have it, right? Yeah. So now let's say I want to put some file in the HDFS. Say I have some file and I want to put it in the HDFS. So let's create some file. Sprintzeal file.txt. Okay, what I'm doing is I created a file, copied some lines in it. Okay, so this is what my file looks like. I have some lines in it. So I want to push this file to the HDFS. Okay, where is my file? It is present over here, sprintzeal dot txt, right? So I want to, if I need to push this file to the HDFS, I need to use the commands like hdfs dfs hyphen. So there are two ways I can do it. Either I can say copy from local, and I can give this slash, let's say I want to put it into root, or let's say root print cell. Okay. So what I'm giving my source and the destination path. So I'm in home Cloudera. So this is home Cloudera, but it's not necessary that I need to run the command from any particular directory. I can run it from anywhere. Okay.
Instead of copy from local, can we use CP? Will it work?
No. So CP is in between the HDFS. So yeah. So once you have moved your copy to the HDFS, then you can use CP to copy it from one HDFS directory to another HDFS directory. Okay. So let me show you. I will just show you. So HDFS DFS -CP. If I do sprintzeal.txt and into root Sprintzeal, it will give me an error saying no such file or directory. Let me show you.
No, file is already there, so maybe it will try to override it.
No. This command will not work saying no such file or directory because
Okay.
this file is not present in the HDFS directory. So see, this file is in my local Linux file system. See, this is present over here, right? In my home directory of the Cloudera user, this file is present in my local file system. The cp command will work in from HDFS to another HDFS directory. So let me show you cp. How does cp work? So HDFS dfs-ls/root Sprintzeal. In this directory, I have a file with the name of Sprintzeal file.txt. Right, so this is the file. This is a HDFS folder. Okay, now I want to copy this file into another directory that I created in user Cloudera. Also, I created something known as Sprintzeal. Let's see what does it has. It should be an empty directory.
It should be user or home.
It's a user. So see, this, if I'm giving any command followed by HDFS, it represents a HDFS directory, which is not exactly same as Linux directory. In Linux, it is home Cloudera, right? But in HDFS, it starts with user. See, this is a little confusing if you start, because sometimes you will find a little changing with the path, like you will always get confused between local file system path and the HDFS path. But HDFS path are accessed by this. If I do ls/user/Cloudera/Sprintzeal, it will say no such file directory because this does not exist. So this directory is not in my local file system. It is in HDFS. Okay. Now let's say I want to copy this file from one HDFS location to another HDFS location. So this is one HDFS location, right? And this is another HDFS location. So in between from one HDFS to another HDFS, I can do the copy. So HDFS DFS-CP, if I'm saying like copy this, to this, then it will work. Okay, so let's have a look into this directory. Okay, so I got this file. So that's how a C.
Dheeraj, one question.
Hmm.
Dheeraj, how would we know that, if a file is in a local or in SDFS? Because in the same folder, you can always create by SDFS and DFS, and you can create a, you can load into SDFS also, right? From the same folder. And if you do not use that command, then it will be anyway in the local. So how actually it is created, how to find it out?
So any HDFS folder, you have to go look into whether that directory exists or not and what you have in that. So let's say, okay, I would say it like this. Let's say, where am I now? Now I am in home Cloudera, right? Now in this I have all of this. These are all different directories and the files which I have in this one. Now if you really want to know what are the things which is present in the HDFS, so you have to start exploring from the HDFS. So start with HDFS DFS-ls root, because everything starts with a root in the HDFS. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So in the root, if you see there is something with this name, or even there is something known as user also. Right. So that's how we have to browse. Like then we have to go to the user. Then user will start all the directories within the user.
Okay, so basically wherever it is high, we can see like SDFs, right, in the second column. So those are representing the that is the SDFs file system we look into, and other folders wherever it is Cloudera and all, that is basically local.
No, I didn't get you. Which
So
one?
what I'm saying is like here if you see that first one we say directory permission drwx something like this. So next we'll getting has slash dash Cloudera, then dash SDFs kind of. So is this whichever the file is for SDFs written? So is this for the SDFs file system, and others like Cloudera and all, that is for local user,
No,
something
no,
like that,
no,
or
no, 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 no.
not like that?
No, no, no.
Okay.
All see the output of this command will only tell you about the HDFS directory. See, if I do ls/user, it is saying no such file or directory, because this /user is not present in my local file system. It is present in
Okay.
HDFS.
Okay.
So this
Okay. Okay.
output is for HDFS.
Okay.
And if you really see, this output looks very similar to ls, right? So you have this representing directory. This one gives you all the permissions, read write executable, and this is the user, this is the group, timestamp, and the location, right? So this output is very similar to ls-lrt of slash user, something like this, right? So something like this. So anything which is output of HDFS represents all the things related with the HDFS. If something is not HDFS, then you have to use all the local Linux commands. Okay. Now let's say that I want to rename a file. Okay. So I created this some file that I created. I want to rename this file. So what I have to do is HDFS dfs-mv, right? In Linux we use mv to move a file or rename a file. Right. So we can use a similar option to rename a particular file. So this is my input file, right? Let's rename this file. Let's rename this file. I want to rename this file with named. Okay, so let's go back and see what did it do. Okay, so it renamed it. Let's say I want to know, let's say I want to change the permission of this file. Okay, now this is having read write permission for the user and others are using read. So can you tell me what will be the command if I want to give read write permission to the group?
Change mode, chmod.
Okay.
X.
What is the full command? Can I directly use chmod?
Attribute. Attribute.
Attribute.
Sorry.
X rw whatever you want and then file name.
Okay, let's say I want 664. Okay, can I give it like this? Can I give it like this?
Dheeraj, we have to use the SDFS DFS as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if I run this command, it will say no such file or directory, right? Because this is HDFS file. So what I need to do, any HDFS command must start with HDFS, DFS, and then what option I want. So if I try this, then only it will change the permission. Details about a file. Okay, I want to know how many blocks it is and how many replicas and all of that. So if I need some more detail, there is a command Hadoop fsck. So fsck is kind of a file system check. Okay, it would give me some detail. Oh, one second, did not give a slash. 1 second. Okay, so it gives me detailed information about this file. So it's saying total size is 1080 bytes, total number of the file is 1, total block is 1. So this file is having only one block because it's just 1 KB of the file. It's a very small file, right? Replicated block is 1 and average replication. So everything is set to 111. Number of the rack is 1. Number of the data node is 1. So everything is 1. So it gives a detailed information about the file system, about this file. Okay. Similarly, if let's say I want to view this file from the user interface, so there is a user interface also which I wanted to show you, which is through the Hue file browser. Okay, so there is Hue is like this interface, right? So it starts with the port 8888. It runs by default in the port 8888. Now I can go and check the details from the Hue as well. So there is something over here. There is known as HDFS browser. Okay, if I click over here in the HDFS browser, it will give me the detailed information about all the HDFS files. So we'll quickly go and check about the files that we created. So in the home, in the user Cloudera, we created something known as Sprintzeal folder. In this, we have this file, right? Sprint file renamed, and this is the content of that file. Okay, and I can do a lot of things. So I can download this file, or if so view as a binary. So all of these things I can do from over here as well, from the user interface also. Okay.
Dheeraj, we have to install this view also, or how we have gone to this particular one?
So Cloudera, if you are starting this, so automatically it comes with the Cloudera. But if you are building a cluster from the scratch, so then you might have to install this hue and all. But if you are just starting and playing around with the Cloudera VM, it comes already installed. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to, once you start this, you have to go over here and the hue, the shortcut. So and you just have to give the IP address of this box and 8888 port. It will ask for the login, something like this. You have to give Cloudera answer, like the password is also Cloudera, and click on sign in, and it will take you to the Hue browser like this. Okay. So in the sandbox, it comes pre-configured. You don't have to do anything, and if at all you are going with the cluster, then it has to be installed, which administrators will be anyway doing it, right? So usually this is the user interface which is given for the developers. So most of the developers work can be done using the Hue as well, right? So we'll see all of that.